Let's start by thinking about how food plays a role in our lives as we age. As we get older, it's natural for our bodies to need a little extra care, especially when it comes to the food we eat. You might have noticed some changes in your health. Maybe you've had more joint pain, your digestion isn't as smooth as it used to be, or perhaps your energy levels are just not what they were when you were younger. One of the best things we can do for ourselves as seniors is to adjust our diet to help our bodies stay strong, healthy, and happy. In today's video, we're going to talk about 5 foods you should avoid after 70 to prevent health problems. But don't worry, we won't be focusing on what you can't eat. Instead, we'll share some tips on how to avoid certain foods that could be contributing to issues you may be facing. The idea here is simple. We want to help you feel your best and enjoy life to the fullest. And the food choices we make can make a world of difference in how we feel each day. So, let's start with the first food you'll want to be mindful of: processed sugars. We've all had a sweet tooth at some point, but did you know that consuming too much sugar can actually make you feel more tired and sluggish as you get older? You might not even realize that sugar is sneaking its way into your diet. It's hidden in so many foods, things like packaged snacks, sodas, even some savory foods like sauces and dressings. The problem with sugar is that it causes your blood sugar levels to spike, which can then lead to a crash that leaves you feeling exhausted and craving more. Over time, too much sugar can also increase your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and even impact your cognitive health. Think about how you feel after eating something sugary. You might get a quick energy burst, but then it's followed by that familiar feeling of sluggishness or even irritability. It's because your body is working overtime to balance your blood sugar. Instead, try to focus on natural sources of sweetness, like fresh fruits, which come with fiber and nutrients that slow down the release of sugar into your bloodstream. You can still enjoy a sweet taste, but in a way that's much kinder to your body. Now, let's move on to another food group you should be cautious about: fried foods. We all love a crispy bite now and then, but the oils used to fry foods can have a negative impact on our health, especially as we age. Fried foods are often loaded with unhealthy fats, which can raise your cholesterol levels and increase your risk of heart disease. As our bodies age, we may find it harder to digest and process these fats as efficiently as we once could. This can lead to problems with digestion, weight gain, and even joint discomfort. Instead of frying foods, try baking, grilling, or steaming. These cooking methods allow the natural flavors of the food to shine through without adding excess fat. If you're craving something crispy, consider making your own baked fries at home using sweet potatoes or even zucchini. It's all about finding healthier alternatives that still satisfy your taste buds. But let's not stop there. There's another culprit that's worth paying attention to: salt. As we get older, our bodies become more sensitive to salt, and too much of it can lead to high blood pressure, water retention, and other heart-related problems. We don't always realize just how much salt is sneaking into our meals, especially in processed and packaged foods. Even things like canned soups, deli meats, and frozen meals can contain high amounts of sodium. Reducing your salt intake doesn't mean your food has to be bland. In fact, there are so many herbs and spices out there that can add incredible flavor to your meals without the need for extra salt. Try experimenting with garlic, rosemary, thyme, or turmeric to add a punch of flavor to your dishes. And of course, fresh vegetables and fruits naturally have much less sodium, so the more of them you can include in your meals, the better. As we've discussed so far, cutting back on sugar, fried foods, and salt can go a long way toward helping you feel better. But there's one more food group you should be mindful of: highly processed meats. I'm talking about things like sausages, hot dogs, and packaged lunch meats. These types of meats are often packed with preservatives, unhealthy fats, and sodium, all of which can take a toll on your health, especially in older age. They've been linked to an increased risk of cancer, heart disease, and other health problems. Instead, try focusing on lean protein sources like fish, chicken, or plant-based proteins such as beans and lentils. These options are lower in unhealthy fats and much better for your overall well-being. If you enjoy the taste of deli meats, you can find healthier alternatives that are lower in sodium and preservatives, or even try making your own at home using fresh cuts of meat. So, as we wrap up the first part of our conversation today, we've covered some important foods to avoid after 70, and you can already start seeing how making small changes to your diet can improve your overall health and energy. Cutting back on processed sugars, fried foods, salt, and processed meats can help you feel better, reduce your risk of chronic diseases, and improve your overall quality of life. But don't worry, there's more to come. In the next part, we'll talk about 2 more foods to watch out for, and I'll share some simple tips on how you can start making these changes today. Let's keep going on this journey to better health together. Now that we've talked about some of the foods to avoid, let's dive into the next couple of foods that can really impact your health as you age. As we get older, it's important to be mindful of what we put in our bodies, and even though these next foods might seem harmless, they can do more harm than you might think. The next food you should be cautious about is refined carbohydrates. You've probably heard about carbs and their connection to weight gain, but let's take a closer look. Refined carbohydrates are things like white bread, pasta, pastries, and even many breakfast cereals. These foods might taste great and be quick to eat, but they can cause your blood sugar to spike quickly, similar to how sugar does. This can lead to energy crashes and can also increase your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and other issues. What makes refined carbs even trickier is that they are stripped of most of their nutrients during processing. Unlike whole grains, which are packed with fiber and essential nutrients, refined carbs lack the good stuff your body needs to stay strong. So instead of reaching for that white bread or sugary cereal, try choosing whole grains like oatmeal, quinoa, or whole wheat bread. These options provide you with fiber, which helps keep your blood sugar steady and supports your digestive health, all while keeping you feeling fuller for longer. Now, let's talk about another food that's sneaky when it comes to affecting your health: dairy. Dairy products such as milk, cheese, and butter are commonly consumed in many diets, but as we age, our bodies may have more difficulty processing dairy. Many people experience lactose intolerance as they get older, which means that they can't properly digest the sugar found in milk. This can lead to discomfort like bloating, gas, and diarrhea. If you've noticed that you feel a little off after having a glass of milk or a slice of cheese, it could be that your body is no longer tolerating dairy as well as it used to. If that's the case, don't worry. You don't have to completely eliminate dairy from your life. There are plenty of dairy-free alternatives available these days, such as almond milk, soy milk, and coconut yogurt, which provide the same creamy texture without the lactose. Plus, these alternatives are often fortified with calcium and vitamin D, which are essential for bone health, something we all need to pay extra attention to as we get older. So, if you've been feeling a little uncomfortable after having dairy, consider switching to some of these alternatives, or at least try cutting back and see how you feel. One more food group we need to discuss is alcohol. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up your glass of wine or your favorite cocktail altogether, but it's important to understand how alcohol affects your body as you age. As we get older, our liver function naturally declines, making it harder for our bodies to process alcohol. This means that even a small amount can have a stronger impact on us. Alcohol can interfere with sleep, increase your risk of falls, and contribute to dehydration, something that is especially important to consider as we age. The good news is that you don't have to completely avoid alcohol if you enjoy it. The key is moderation. It's recommended that older adults limit their alcohol consumption to no more than 1 drink per day. And it's always a good idea to check in with your doctor to see what's right for you. If you're not sure what constitutes a drink, think of it as a small glass of wine, a light beer, or a shot of liquor. And remember, if you're feeling a little off after drinking, it might be time to cut back. So, we've now covered 5 foods that can cause issues for your health as you age. Refined carbohydrates, dairy, and alcohol can all contribute to health problems like weight gain, digestive issues, and decreased energy. The good news is that by making small changes to your diet, you can start feeling better and preventing these health issues before they become a bigger problem. You don't need to make drastic changes overnight. Just start by replacing a few of these foods with healthier alternatives. Choose whole grains instead of refined carbs. Try dairy-free options if you have trouble with lactose, and limit your alcohol intake to protect your liver and bones. Remember, these changes don't have to be complicated. It's about making small adjustments that will add up over time and help you live a healthier, happier life. As we finish up, I want to remind you that taking care of your body doesn't have to be difficult. By being mindful of what you eat, you can prevent many common health problems that affect seniors. In the next part of this video, we'll go into more detail about how you can make these changes easily and start seeing positive results. Stick with us, and let's keep working together to help you feel your best at any age. Now that we've covered some of the foods you should be careful with, let's dive into a couple more to keep on your radar. I know making changes in your diet can feel overwhelming, but just remember, small adjustments can have a big impact on how you feel every day. We're taking it step by step, so don't worry, you're not alone in this. Let's talk about processed meats next. Things like sausages, hot dogs, bacon, and deli meats. These are often packed with sodium, unhealthy fats, and preservatives that can really affect your health as you age. The high salt content in these foods can increase your risk of high blood pressure, which, in turn, can lead to heart disease and other complications. Plus, processed meats have been linked to higher risks of cancer, especially colorectal cancer, due to the chemicals used in processing. I get it, bacon is tempting, and a sandwich with deli meats might feel like an easy meal, but there are healthier alternatives that can still satisfy those cravings. For example, instead of bacon, try turkey bacon or even plant-based alternatives, which are much lower in fat and sodium. For sandwiches, go for lean meats like chicken or turkey breast, and always check labels to avoid those with a lot of preservatives or additives. By making these simple swaps, you're doing your heart and your overall health a huge favor. Next up, let's chat about sugary snacks and drinks. We all know that sugary treats like cakes, cookies, and sodas are sweet and tempting, but they can be really harmful, especially as we get older. Consuming too much sugar can lead to weight gain, increase your risk of diabetes, and even contribute to heart disease. The problem is, sugar can sneak into your diet in ways you might not even realize. It's not just in desserts and sodas. It's often hidden in sauces, salad dressings, and even some packaged snacks. The best way to handle sugar is to try to cut back on sugary drinks like sodas, sweetened coffee, and energy drinks. You can opt for sparkling water with a splash of lemon, or a cup of unsweetened herbal tea instead. And when it comes to snacks, try to focus on whole fruits instead of candy or baked goods. Fruit is naturally sweet and full of nutrients that help support your immune system, energy levels, and even your skin. If you're craving something sweet, try making your own baked goods using natural sweeteners like honey or maple syrup, or better yet, look for recipes that use ripe bananas or dates as a base for sweetness. Cutting back on sugar doesn't have to be a punishment either. You can still enjoy sweet flavors without the harmful effects of processed sugar. Think of it as a way of treating your body with love and care, giving it the nutrients it needs to feel energized and strong. One final food to be mindful of is artificial sweeteners. You might think that substituting sugar with a low-calorie sweetener is a smart way to cut back on sugar and maintain a healthy weight, but these artificial sweeteners can actually cause more harm than good. Many studies have shown that artificial sweeteners can disrupt your body's natural ability to regulate blood sugar, leading to an increased craving for sweets and overeating in the long run. Plus, they can have negative effects on your gut health, which is crucial for digestion, immunity, and even mental well-being. Instead of reaching for a sugar-free soda or diet snack, consider using natural sweeteners like stevia or monk fruit, which have little to no impact on blood sugar levels and are much better for your overall health. You can also try making the transition to more whole, unprocessed foods, as these tend to be lower in sugar and artificial additives. As we wrap up this part, let's reflect on the foods we've talked about. Processed meats, sugary snacks and drinks, and artificial sweeteners can all negatively affect your health, particularly as you age. But the good news is, you don't have to completely avoid these foods forever. It's about finding balance and making smarter choices for your health, like choosing lean meats over processed options, swapping sugary drinks for water or tea, and replacing artificial sweeteners with more natural alternatives. By being more mindful of what you eat, you can prevent or manage health issues like high blood pressure, diabetes, and digestive problems, all while feeling better day by day. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. Each small step you take toward a healthier diet will pay off in the long run. In the final part of this video, we'll go over a few more tips on how to make these changes stick and how to incorporate more nutrient-dense foods into your diet. You're already doing great by taking the time to learn and make small improvements. Stay with us, and let's finish strong as we work towards a healthier, more vibrant you. Now that we've discussed some of the foods you should avoid and why, let's shift gears a bit and look at how you can fill your plate with foods that promote long-term health, especially as you enter your 70s and beyond. It's not just about cutting out harmful foods, it's also about adding the right nutrients into your diet to help you feel your best. One of the most important nutrients you'll need as you age is protein. As you get older, your body requires more protein to maintain muscle mass, support your immune system, and promote overall strength and vitality. The problem is, many seniors tend to eat less protein, either because they're not as hungry or because they find meat hard to digest. But don't worry, there are plenty of protein-packed foods that are gentle on the stomach and easy to prepare. Consider adding plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, and quinoa to your meals. These foods are not only rich in protein, but also packed with fiber, which is great for digestion and helps maintain a healthy weight. You can also enjoy fish, which is full of omega-3 fatty acids that are fantastic for heart health. Salmon, sardines, and trout are all excellent choices. And for those of you who prefer a bit of dairy, Greek yogurt is a great option. It's higher in protein than regular yogurt, and it contains probiotics, which can help support your gut health. Now, let's move on to another nutrient that becomes increasingly important as we age: calcium. Calcium is essential for keeping your bones strong, and as you age, your bones become more prone to weakening, especially for women after menopause. But getting enough calcium in your diet isn't always as simple as just drinking milk. Fortunately, there are many other ways to get your calcium without relying solely on dairy. Leafy green vegetables like kale, collard greens, and bok choy are excellent sources of calcium. If you're not a fan of these, you can also find calcium in fortified plant-based milks, like almond or soy milk. Tofu, almonds, and sesame seeds also contain good amounts of calcium. And don't forget about sardines and salmon with the bones. These little fish are not only rich in protein, but also packed with calcium. But here's the thing, calcium doesn't work alone. It needs vitamin D to be absorbed properly by your body. Vitamin D is crucial for bone health, and as we get older, our ability to absorb vitamin D from sunlight decreases, especially if we don't spend a lot of time outdoors. That's why it's important to eat foods rich in vitamin D, or take a supplement if needed. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and tuna are great sources of vitamin D, as are fortified foods like some cereals and dairy products. Eggs and mushrooms also provide a small amount of vitamin D. If you live in an area with little sunlight or spend most of your time indoors, consider discussing a vitamin D supplement with your doctor to ensure you're getting enough. Next, let's talk about fiber. Fiber is a superstar when it comes to digestive health, and it becomes even more important as we age. As we get older, our digestion can slow down, and fiber plays a key role in keeping everything running smoothly. It can help prevent constipation, reduce cholesterol levels, and even manage blood sugar levels. The good news is that getting more fiber in your diet is easier than you think. Whole grains like oats, brown rice, and whole wheat bread are excellent sources of fiber, as are fruits like apples, pears, and berries. Don't forget about beans and lentils, they're fiber powerhouses. And for a delicious fiber-packed snack, try snacking on a handful of nuts like almonds or walnuts. To make sure you're getting enough fiber, try to include a variety of these foods in your daily meals. And remember to drink plenty of water. Fiber needs water to do its job effectively in your body. You might find that adding more fiber to your diet helps you feel lighter, more energetic, and more comfortable overall. In addition to fiber, let's not forget about the importance of healthy fats. As we age, healthy fats, like those found in avocados, olive oil, and nuts, are key to maintaining brain health, heart health, and even skin health. Healthy fats are also great for providing long-lasting energy and keeping you feeling satisfied after meals. Avocados are an excellent choice, offering heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, and they're so versatile. Add them to salads, make guacamole, or spread them on toast. Olive oil is another fantastic option. Try drizzling it on vegetables or using it for cooking instead of butter. And for a satisfying snack, nuts like almonds, walnuts, and pistachios are rich in healthy fats and also provide a good amount of protein. These foods can help reduce inflammation, support healthy cholesterol levels, and protect against cognitive decline as you age. Healthy fats are like little powerhouses for your overall well-being, and they're easy to incorporate into your meals. As we wrap up today's discussion, I want to remind you that you don't have to make all these changes overnight. Start small. Maybe focus on adding one new food to your meals each week, like a serving of leafy greens or a handful of nuts. Little by little, these changes will add up and make a big difference in how you feel. By choosing foods that support your health, like lean proteins, calcium-rich foods, fiber, and healthy fats, you're setting yourself up for a longer, more vibrant life. Eating well isn't about deprivation. It's about making choices that help you live with energy, vitality, and joy. So, don't be discouraged if you feel like it's too much to handle. Take your time and enjoy the journey. Your body will thank you, and you'll be amazed at how these simple dietary changes can transform the way you feel, inside and out. Here's to living your best life, no matter your age.